One.
Hello, you guys, and welcome to the Woman's Cave. We did it together. Woo!
No enmity today.
Yes. Maybe because we've been listening to it all day.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I think that's what we're doing. I enjoy collaborating with you as I take your hand.
It has been a pleasure.
I'm Jade, though, by the way. Well, and we are two of the 14 and I thought ladies. Yes, you guys, it has grown expedition.
Yeah, they actually would be 15, but I don't like that little one. Like, no, I'm
No,
joking.
she was joking.
There's only 14.
Oh my goodness, you guys, please don't take us seriously. Oh my word. Anyway,
you know, for the ladies out there, they're going, which lady is it that she doesn't like?
who does she book? Who does she? Anyway, we wrote these wonderful books, and I thought divorce was bad without the life lessons, and I thought being grown up was easy, and I thought I could juggle it. Oh, no,
it's
do not touch
Jenga.
it.
It's Jenga with the set, y'all.
Do not touch it.
Woo!
And I thought I did my journey alone. We can maybe, oh, I did it. And I thought I did my journey alone, and I thought I had it all figured out. A fiction, episode 1.
Hey, you guys, Hollywood out there. This beautiful
Don't take us seriously.
This beautiful face needs to be more famous. So this, you need to just get the actors, read it because it's perfect the way it is, minus the misspelled words and any words that are missing. You know it's how it's supposed to be. But besides that, just get the actors and make me more famous with my own network piloted scripted television show. Because I already have my own reality show, so one more won't hurt.
Okay, so as Winona got finished with all her narcissism, you can find this on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and AndWeThought.com. You guys go to AndWeThought.com. Please take a moment, go to the ladies page, go down at the bottom.
Tippity bottom. Yes, continue.
Did you? Down at the bottom, and you will see the charities that we proudly support. You guys, vote for Marilyn Haas. She's awesome. She does great work. Enough Views UK. I can't say enough about her. She's awesome.
Okay, so proudly please support them as well. And yes, you guys also, my favorite thing is that, yes, I have my own reality TV show.
So, no, it's a docu-series.
Docu-series.
Why?
You can watch it on Channel 18 or Amazon.com. Am I finished? Can I be finished now?
Oh, you are finished. So we're going to just hand it over to our wonderful guests. We have like 3 guests in the studio.
You're not here
the Women's Cave. So it's all full again today. This is exciting. High five. And can you please introduce yourself?
Well, hey everybody. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? I am GW Pomacher. I'm an author and the host of the Hangin With the Web show. And
hi, I'm Sage Ia. I'm the artistic relations coordinator for the Hangin With Web show.
And
I'm Dina Marie, and I'm tech support and sales.
Lots of fun.
We all need
you. Wait, you're the one that drives the finances. Okay, that's cool.
We all.
There you go.
We spend the money. She makes the money.
Yes,
exactly.
That's how it works.
We all need it. So you guys tell us about how you became, well, I mean, I know how we did it, authors to show, but how do you become from an author to a very subscribed to show?
Yes, I'm jealous of the subscription rate.
Well, I'll tell you, I was at my very first writers conference about 2 years ago now, and I had just signed up to go and do some tabling and some signing, and I got the schedule, and it said, hey, you guys are going to be tabling and signing for 2 hours, and we have this whole weekend planned of things to do, and there weren't a lot of things that I was really heavy into doing, and I said, well, 2 hours I'm going to be tabling and signing, and I'm the new guy, and you know, as an independent author, it's hard to get noticed already, and I said, well, what am I going to do for 48 hours? And I decided to take my phone, and I worked as a journalist for 5 years for a hometown newspaper. And I said, I'm going to go interview some other authors and see how they do what they do, and just kind of do some crazy, footage of the other authors. And we did that for the entire weekend, and we interviewed, I think, probably 15 or 16 authors.
Yeah. It's quite a lot. We just went grabbing people from the room. Hey, you want to talk about your book? Shameless promotion, because you gotta love that.
All with a little iPhone.
Yeah, little iPhone going. And you know what happened was more and more authors in particular were lamenting the fact that they don't get a lot of press coverage. It really, and in our field, really the top 1 or 2% of the writing community is ever going to get noticed by the mainstream, the big media. And the reason for that is simple. There's only so many hours in the day, and there's only so many slots to put people into. So what we decided to do was create our show and our format, which would cover arts and entertainment creators of all kinds. And we would focus really, really heavily on the indie and small press and independent artists. Guys who are doing their own painting and their own drawing and their own sketch cards. Folks that are making their own films and making their own web TV series. And people who are writing their own books and publishing in small press houses. Because those are the guys that are the backbone of our industry.
Yeah.
That's how that without you guys talking about your books and talking about what you do and sharing your work, nobody rises, and so we decided that's where we're focused. It's been a 2-year journey. We've traveled the country from our home in Florida. We are right now in Tennessee.
Lots of adventure.
To San Diego, California, where we got to go out and do San Diego Comic-Con.
No, I saw that and I was super jealous. I was like, you know what? I wish I was so jealous. I wasn't jealous. It was like a good jealous, though. It was like, I'm going to watch these videos every day, though, because I need to go on the road to Comic-Con.
Yes. And we are so blessed to have been able to be on this journey. When we started out, like I said, we started out with shooting it on our phone. I didn't have a mic. I was just standing there yelling at my phone, "Hey, everybody, watch these people." And over time, we learned how to be television producers. We learned how to be filmmakers. And we learned something new every single day, whether it's about how to mic up the set or how to set the cameras, how to light the set, or sometimes it's simple how to get into an event that you want to go to. And I've taken that now, and I actually teach media and press relations to authors and creators at conferences around the country. So
I was about to say,
I need to take your class because I got to speak on that. As soon as I leave from here, I got to go to a conference and speak on it.
It's really kind of funny, but Winona herself, she had.
We've got a chance to meet some amazing people too.
Yeah.
I've had we are now topping 300 webisodes.
Mm-hmm.
We put one out every single weekday, Monday through Friday, and they're only as you guys know, they're only 10 to 15 minutes long, but we try to get as in depth and have a little bit of fun with our guests, and we've got to talk to some amazing people. And we do focus about 80% of the show on our independent and small press creators. But the other percentage of it is about pushing those names out. And in order to do that, we need numbers. I need people to come and watch the show. And in order to get that, we really, really have a good time. We've got to interview some of the top tier authors in the country. Particularly, I'm a huge sci-fi geek, if y'all haven't told by the show. So we get to go to conventions and places where we've got to interview Alan Dean Foster, who wrote the original Star Wars novelization and The Force Awakens. We got to interview Kevin J. Anderson, who co-writes the rest of the Dune series with Brian Herbert, Frank Herbert's son. We also, in addition to, by the way, writing Star Wars and X-Files and my God, all these wonderful things, we got to interview Sherilyn Kenyon, who it's really funny. I love to get interviews that are either going to make me go completely fanboy or one of the girls. And when I went to a convention, we got an interview with Sherilyn Kenyon and then didn't tell Dina until it was the last minute. So Dina got to go completely fangirl.
That was wonderful.
It was wonderful. And so turnabout revenge is always fun.
Yes, it is.
So about an hour later, our babysitter ran up to me and said, "Hey, they need you right now. They have an interview for you to do." And I ran over and I said, "Okay, guys, what am I doing?"
Surprise!
And they said, "Surprise." And I interviewed Claudia Christian, who is an author, but she's also the actress responsible for creating the character of Ivanova in Babylon 5.
Yep.
Wow.
And so I just stood there like, so that's if y'all get a chance to, that's a 5-minute interview because it's mostly me trying to pick up my tongue.
It was a lot of fun.
It's okay. It's all right because I think.
And of course, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I got to interview this fantastic group of young creators who created a series called the And I Thought series. Fantastic young lady.
You're so funny. people are gonna be like, that's Winona's job to be the narcissist.
So, Sage Flaw, how do you get all those numbers? How do you persistent like every week?
She's creative. Right?
She's a stalker. She's a cyber stalker.
Well, not just a cyber stalker. I do some other things, but
She stalks them in real life sometimes. It's
yes.
kind of embarrassing some days.
yes.
Do
So
what you have to do.
and that I was gonna say the tiny little piece. It is Sage Ia that
Sage
hardly
Ia,
anybody
I
sees
know
the
her.
I. Everybody thinks it's an L, but it's an I, so it's Ia. But when we're at the conventions, I'm not shy. I will go down to everybody in Artist Alley, all the authors at the book conventions, and I will talk to them and tell them what we do and say, hey, just come on, sit in a chair. It's 10 to 15 minutes. We have a lot of fun. And come and tell us about what you do, what you write, your music, the thing that you're passionate about. And if you're very passionate about it, no matter how shy you are, you're always willing to come and sit in the chair and talk about that. And if you're nervous, he will put you at ease all the time. And everybody has a great time. So it just kind of grows. And then there's an old Germac commercial, and they tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and then the show just keeps growing. And so we just meet more and more people, and I just bring them right into the chair.
That's nice. So do like festivals actually pursue you? I'm gonna go with the salesperson on this one. Do festivals
The
actually
person that make money.
Yeah,
the
that
money
makes
person.
do festivals pursue you now, or do you still pursue festivals?
No, we're still pursuing festival. There's a few of our beginners that pursue us that just automatically know we're coming back the following year. But right now we're at this stage that we still have to go find them.
One of the most difficult things that we do as a team is try to show a venue, whether it be an authors conference or a writing convention, an art show, or a big Comic-Con. Yeah. Web media is a very large field, and everybody who does this is, we love to talk to our other creators, and of course we love to go kind of fanboy on the creators who are at the top of their game. We love to meet our actresses and our writers that are, nothing would please me more than to sit George R.R. Martin down in my chair. George, if you're watching,
yeah,
opportunity.
Absolutely.
Wait. We might be able to connect you up there.
That's it. Hook us up.
That's the only thing we can do. We don't have a lot of subscribers. We don't have a lot of subscribers, but we get the people we have. We can be like, yo, can you connect us too?
Yeah, you go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's all about.
Way up to who we need to go to.
And so what we do is and those are great interviews. They're a lot of fun to do, and it's really fun to kind of be a fan.
Yeah.
But when we approach these conventions and conferences, one of the things we like to tell them is, look, if I get that interview, great, awesome. I'm not going to turn it down. But I'm also not going to spend my entire conference or convention standing in line trying to get that interview.
Exactly.
I want to go down to Artist Alley. I want to go down to Author Alley. I want to go down where these indie guys and these small press guys are lined up selling books, selling art, talking to each other, networking. Those are the guys that need shows like yours and shows like ours. They need the push. George Martin doesn't need the push. HBO will make sure he's doing just fine.
Even without, even if he doesn't write the book, they're fine.
That's right. He's gonna be all right. But all those guys down in Artist Alley that are making their money $20 at a time, $10 at a time, selling books, selling art. We got independent filmmakers that tour the independent film circuit at conventions, conferences, and festivals. And until they're done with that circuit, they can't sell a single DVD. They can't sell a single movie ticket because they're waiting to be done with the circuit. So they're promoting their stuff, and they're not. These are the guys that I always tell people. Shows like yours, shows like ours. My goal is not to be Jimmy Kimmel. They have one of those. Mm-hmm. And the good news is that he's doing a fantastic job. The bad news for our indies is that before you can sit in Jimmy's chair, you have to already make it. Right. And so what I want to be 2017, 2018, the new millennium's version of Ed Sullivan.
Really big show.
Because when you sat in Ed's chair, nobody knew who you were. And the next day, everybody did. So that's what I want to be. I want to be the guy that takes a young fella and says, you're going to play a guitar and you're going to sing a song, and tomorrow morning you're going to be Elvis Presley. Because
that is great.
That's what Ed Sullivan did. That's what Johnny Carson used to do in the 60s and 70s. And that's what YouTube and podcasting and all of these services that are available to independent creators now have given us a chance to go back to that 1950s, 1960s, 1970s entertainment model and create a whole new wave of new creators and makers. So authors and filmmakers and artists can reach a big audience now. And it's a lot of work, as you guys know. It's really a lot of work.
It's a lot of fun work, though. I think the editing process isn't fun.
For Winona.
For me. I was up at like 5 a.m, like running through the last touches on our television show, and then recognized I hadn't finished up all the YouTube stuff, so I was doing that too. So I literally have an arc of 3 computers, one for audio, one for the television show, and then one for YouTube going at the same time. So like in 2 hours, I got everything done, but man, am I tired.
I had a... we had been doing this about 4 months, and I had done about 30 interviews. Most of them were pretty good, small indie authors at 3 different conferences that we attended. It was really slow going, but we were getting started. I had no subscribers. I had maybe 120 subscribers on the page, which was okay. It was a great place to start for us. And we were, one at a time, really bringing in subscribers one at a time. And so I get a call from a publishing company saying, hey, we've got an author that doesn't travel anymore, but we really want you to do this interview. And I said, oh, well, sure, I'd love to do that. And they said, well, can you do a Skype interview? And I said, well, yeah, I don't know, maybe. Sure. I don't know how to do that yet. And he said, well, look, I said, well, who's the author? And they said, Alan Dean Foster, who novelized George Lucas's Star Wars. And I said, yes, I'll learn how to do a Skype interview.
Yeah.
So I got Alan on Skype. We talked for an hour. I got about 30 minutes of really, really good interview coverage, and then a lot of chatting and a lot of fun that we had.
It was wonderful.
And I had just gotten an update on my computer, an update on my Mac. And at that time, only 4 months into this, I was editing using iMovie, which is basically the Mac version, for those on the internet that don't know, of Windows Movie Maker. It's the Mac version of that. It comes with your computer. And it's very simple to use. It's very easy to use. And I was able to use it very well. But the update to my Mac broke iMovie. So it didn't work. And so I'm fortunate. My brother happens to be an independent filmmaker in LA. And so I picked up the phone and I called him and I said, oh my God, just to give you a timeline on this story. This was the week that Star Wars Episode 7 was coming out in theaters. So I had the best interview that I'd ever had on the week that I needed it to get more viewers, and my software was broken.
That's how it works.
I'm on the phone with LA, and I said, you have to help me. So my brother has Adobe Premiere Pro.
Right.
And he said, okay, you can use Premiere Pro. To which I immediately responded, how? I don't know how to do that. So just like you were saying, that's where the story came from. Just like you were saying is I stayed on the phone doing a Google Hangout, a meeting like this, with my brother for 2 nights in a row, all through the night, from sundown till sun up, with a 3-hour time difference between California and Florida, and walked through every single shot of a 30-minute interview to post it so that I could be up by the end of the week when Star Wars came out and everybody was looking. And we did quite well. That episode got a lot of views for that time period, especially because we didn't have any subscribers to tell it was there. So we were, praying that people would do a search for, Star Wars. But it is. But what an amazing learning experience to have to sit there and 48 hours of no sleep while I edit and learn how to do this stuff for the show. And I mean, I've learned everything from lighting to sound to
the stuff you learn
camera. And I'm not.
It's amazing.
That stuff I learned doing this.
It's amazing how much you learn.
And I tell everybody, and I want to give a shout out just on the regular World Wide Web to. There's a YouTube channel. Some of the videos are quite old, but it's called DeCasa Films, and it is a young gentleman. He now works in the film and television industry in New York, but when he started his YouTube channel, he was a film school graduate, and he gives tutorials on how to use your camera, how to set up your lighting, where you need to put a backdrop, where you need to do. He gives these fantastic tutorials. I want to shout out to him because when we didn't know anything and literally nothing about filmmaking, we did a search and we found him, and we found a lot of them out there. But DeCasa Films on YouTube, step by step, taught me how to be a little tiny bit of a filmmaker. And then my brother calls and critiques my stuff and tells me what I did wrong.
That's fantastic. That's what family
We have
does.
to actually wrap this up because we have a speech in 5 minutes. And I'm so sorry. So we're gonna do a part 2 if you guys don't mind.
Absolutely,
I'm
absolutely.
gonna tell you quickly where we learned. We learned on a LA television set with a
How to
producer,
stage.
how to stage and how to do lighting and all of this.
But our lighting is bad today, you guys. We know. We know.
We had to keep it simple because we needed to build it. So.
We had to keep it simple. We know.
You guys are conferences, the show, the books. You guys are living the dream. So
Yes, you are.
We love y'all, and we're happy that y'all are doing great.
Well, we're happy that you are doing great, and we love your show. And can you tell people where to find your show?
Like anyone that's listening to us
find
doesn't
us-
already know where it exists.
But just,
We follow
All you gotta do is head on over. You can head on over and link anywhere that you want to go to from www.hanginwithshow.com. You can find us on the web on our webpage. Go on over to YouTube, type in Hangin' With Web Show. You can't lose that. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If there's Patreon. Oh my God, help pay for the show. Anywhere you type in the Hangin' With Web Show, you can go and find us. We're all over social media.
Yep.
This is the social media. She will annoy the hell out of you. If you ever give her your name, she tags you in everything.
it was great, though. I enjoyed it.
Chrissy B thing. I was waiting. I was like, she didn't tag us. Never mind.
Whatever.
No, that was that Andy.
The Andrea Boyd lady.
Oh my gosh! Yes. And you're like she said, those are the times you have the most fun because everything breaks all when you need it, right?
Yeah.
So
All the time.
every time. And I gotta just real quick before we go, I gotta tell Dina, we could not do the show without her. She sells our merchandise. You go to cafepress.com/hangingwithshow and grab Hangin' With Web Show t-shirts, coffee mugs, teddy bears, you name it, it's there. And without that, I couldn't do what I do, and I couldn't do it with the fantastic people like you that I get to do it with. So.
That's right.
Please believe me, my next 3 questions were for you.
But in the part 2, you guys, we promise, just remember that
wisdom is all around you if
you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love
from Winona
and Jade. Bye-bye.